Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth, and I've been contacted by someone claiming to be a highly placed insider who has sent me a wealth of details regarding upcoming Star Wars projects, details that are making me excited to see what's coming from Lucasfilm post-Kathleen Kennedy, so trust me. You will want to watch this video right up to the end. It is crammed with information and you don't want to miss out. Famously, my sources have reported that Jon Favreau, cognizant of Kennedy's spy network at Lucasfilm, would tell his people, quote, "The eye of Sauron is upon us," unquote, whenever a Kennedy loyalist was on the Mandalorian set looking to rat him out to Kennedy. But now that the eye of Sauron is turned overseas as Indiana Jones 5 lurches ahead without Harrison Ford, but with a CGI indie face pasted on actors with their faces painted green, Favreau and Filoni are now free to make the kind of Star Wars they want to make entirely without interference. And from what I'm hearing from this insider, the results are proving to be impressive. Most impressive. Now, in this video, I'm going to be quoting this particular source extensively, augmenting this information with some additional rumors coming from my network of Hollywood spies. But regardless of the source, I want to make it quite clear that what I'm about to tell you is information provided by sources claiming to have knowledge of what's happening behind the scenes with Star Wars, information that I have no way of independently verifying. So please note that I'm presenting this information as unverified rumor, and I must ask you to please take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Disclaimer. So, what's this I hear about Heir to the Empire? The Zahn trilogy?
Patience, young Jedi. We will come to that in a moment. But first, I'd like to share some news about the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I recently made a video about some leaks I had heard regarding Kenobi, at which time I was contacted by this source who told me, quote, "Since you have already been contacted by other sources, here's more information about Kenobi. Look for a two-pronged approach to the story, with Kenobi battling his fears regarding his failure to keep Anakin from the dark side on Tatooine, and Vader searching fruitlessly around the galaxy for his old mentor, leading to dreams being suffered by both users along the way." As if he needed an excuse. Potential storylines could include Ezra, the Night Sisters, and even a return to Dagobah. Season 1 is fully written, and we even have several writers working on the scripts for Season 2. Kathleen Kennedy's camp is pretty much kept away from all things Star Wars related at this point, unquote.
Damn, dude. That sounds pretty good. So check me to see if I have this straight. Ewan McGregor is reprising his role as Kenobi, and we'll also be seeing a lot of Vader in this show, not only in Kenobi's dreams.
Apparently, Harvey. That's what this source is telling me.
But, and here's the bad part, isn't Hayden Christensen reprising his role as, Darth Vader?
He is, Harvey, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, a lot of fans were really unhappy with how Hayden played Anakin in the prequels, and when I heard that Hayden Christensen was returning to the role of Vader again, my reaction was, are we really going back there again? Are we really going to get more speeches about how he hates sand? It's hard and coarse and it gets everywhere.
Not George Lucas's shining moment there, sir.
No. And to be fair to Hayden, with lines like that, nothing but green screen sets, and a director indifferent to working with actors, it may not have been his fault entirely when you get right down to it. But that said, I was contacted maybe a week ago by a source I've been working directly with for a while who told me, quote, "Wanted to let you know that we are indeed wrapping up filming on Kenobi. Post-production is going strong and we are very close to having episode 1 in the can. I can tell you that this series is one of the most polished and beautiful, read expensive, series ever produced. I sincerely hope die-hard Star Wars fans will enjoy this series, because I can tell you a lot of love for the characters and stories went into this. Dave has really poured his heart out right onto the screen for everyone to see. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen went all in on these roles, and both of them put everything they had into their respective performances. I personally did not love Hayden's performance as Anakin in the prequels, but have been very impressed with his performance and the amount of growth he has shown as an actor. Truly impressed." Unquote.
Well, I tell ya, I'm willing to give Hayden another chance, I guess. He's a lot older now, and I think at least it's possible that he's grown into the role. It's hard to be Vader when you're basically just barely out of puberty, you know?
Agreed. My mind is open on Kenobi, and frankly, at this point I confess to even being optimistic and excited to see it. I'm particularly intrigued by the notion that Vader is going around hunting for Kenobi, killing Force sensitives and Force users along the way. When the show was first announced, I was convinced that Vader would only be a small part of the show. When Kennedy announced that Kenobi and Vader would have a rematch in their battle, I thought, oh my god, that's cringe. No way they met again after their initial battle and before episode 4. But then I was told by my sources that Kenobi and Vader meet and fight in Kenobi's dreams, basically dream sequences. But now, with this information, it seems clear that Kenobi and Vader will both be getting a lot of screen time in the new series for Disney+, and any chance to see more Vader is cause for celebration in and of itself. It just isn't Vader without James Earl Jones's voice. No one else alive sounds like that, Harvey. I have to say, of all the Star Wars series thus far, this one really has the chance to hit it out of the park.
All right, so what's this I hear about a Thrawn series? Is this really a thing?
Well, there's no way for me to say definitely, Harvey. I mean, this could be a scam, this could be disinformation, or there could be errors in here. However, here is what my source tells me about the Thrawn series. Initially, when I was told they were doing a Thrawn series, I was informed they hadn't decided whether they were going animated or live action for the show. Well, now my sources contacted me and clarified the situation. Quote, "It looks like we are going the live action route with the new show, and we have codenamed it Rebels 2.0. John and Dave have just approved the script for the first episode. I can't give spoilers, but I will say that the writer's room was exploding with amazing ideas about how to kick off the series with a bang. I have not been this excited about pre-production since Rogue One. John wants this series to include Ezra Bridger and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Dave is completely on board with that concept, but this is Hollywood after all, and these things tend to morph quite a bit from conception to production. However, I do have news about a potential lead director for the series. It would be none other than Bryce Dallas Howard. The new series will be set in the time period right after the fall of the Empire and will be set in the unexplored regions."
Wow. So even though we apparently still have The Acolyte on the production schedule, a series that will be further degraded and abused by hiring She-Man director Kevin Smith to do to The Acolyte what he did to Mistress of the Universe, nevertheless the stuff being developed seems pretty good to these evil eldritch eyes. I have half a mind not to destroy the universe until I see at least the first few episodes.
I hear you, Harvard J. Cthulhu. Something's afoot at the Circle K. And apparently at Lucasfilm.
So in the video title, damn it, you mentioned something about the Zahn trilogy. Are they finally making Heir to the Empire into movies? A series?
Well now, Harvey, this is where things get a bit confusing. Up to this point, I've been relaying information fed to me by someone who claims to be a highly placed source inside Lucasfilm and or Disney. What I've said of a Thrawn series, codenamed Rebels 2.0, came from this individual. But on the other hand, I've got my Hollywood spies beating the bushes, and this is what they came up with. From what they've been told, Book of Boba Fett will be partially based on Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire books.
What? Now how the fuck could that possibly be?
Apparently, incorporating elements of Zahn's beloved EU trilogy into Book of Boba Fett is Jon Favreau's way of telling all the fans who loved those books that he felt their pain over the EU being decanonized, and this is his way of trying to make amends. That's a theme I keep hearing variations on over and over again. that Favreau and Filoni are painfully aware of how upset fans have been in regard to Disney Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy, and they are determined to make fans happy again.
Yeah, but Doomcock, how the hell do you have a Thrawn series on the one hand, Rebels 2.0 it's codenamed, but also have Book of Boba Fett based on the Zahn trilogy?
Again, Harvey, this is coming from two different sources. It's possible that my Hollywood spies are kind of looking at the Thrawn series through the fog of war and are getting some info right and some info wrong. Or it could be possible that Book of Boba Fett is set inside the Zahn trilogy, but obviously it won't be a retelling of the Thrawn series literally. Like Heir to the Empire will be running concurrently with Book of Boba Fett, and we may see elements of those events influencing the story from afar. And then the Thrawn series, which would follow Book of Boba Fett, would more literally reflect events in Heir to the Empire, although no one has told me that either of these shows will literally be telling that story per se. For example, if Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, has already changed history by being Luke Skywalker's first student, that may be justification not only for erasing the Disney sequel trilogy, but also for making an altered version of Heir to the Empire. This is just my speculation. I have not been told much more about this, except that Mara Jade will be featured in Book of Boba Fett, along with a Dark Jedi that may well turn out to be, I am told, will be Thrawn's personal bodyguard, so it might not be Darth Talon. At this point, the details are hazy. Talon was supposed to be in Rangers of the New Republic, but since that show is canceled or on a hiatus, they have moved this character into the Book of Boba Fett. And finally, I'm told that Book of Boba Fett is where we will see a lot of the changes leading to the erasure of the sequel trilogy start to play into the story. So that's a lot to absorb here, folks, but this is the state of Star Wars as I understand it. This is what I have been given. I really hope that one or more of these sources is spot on. I hope this isn't just disinformation fed to me in an attempt to try and discredit me. Although, if that happens, at least it will dispel the notion that I make this stuff up. I guarantee every one of these leaks and rumors that I report on have been reported to me from outside sources I have screened to the best of my limited ability. But of course, at some point, disinformation will bleed through. All we can do is keep trying. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha